Welcome back to part 2 of what's this episode called again?
2024 recap. Well,
Yes,
that was the first.
kind of. This is
Yeah.
our top 5 films of 2024.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can, by the way, if you're listening to this and you haven't heard part 1, you don't have to listen to part 1, but you can. It's not like a direct continuation, but you definitely should because we went through some really interesting things in there, which you'll be able to see.
So yeah, and these are all the films that we didn't go through in part 1, I guess. So let's just get into it straight away, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yannis.
Amaru.
What is your number 5 film of 2024? So, sorry, before we start, context. We haven't seen films such as The Brutalist, Honora.
God, Brutalist.
And what do you mean, God, Brutalist?
No, I just don't think I could get through that.
Oh, because it's really long.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's intermissions, but like still,
I'm doing it.
that's like, really?
I'm doing it.
Jeez, that's a tough one.
I watched the trailer and I was like, take me.
God. I mean, I managed to get through Killers of the Flower Moon, which is like 3 hours 20, but still, yeah.
Yeah, Honora, 17, Honora, Brutalist, and some other stuff.
Challenges.
Yes, unfortunately. And what else?
I mean, there's like some others like Moana, Sonic 3, which just came. If you're listening to this
Complete
live, came out
unknown.
recently.
No, that's
Complete
next
Unknown.
year. Is it this year? No, it's this year because
It's this
it's
year.
on the Oscars, right? And some international films as well, like the seed of the sacred fig.
Yeah.
What a mouthful! And a wild robot.
Oh God, yeah. There's Wild Robot.
And Saturday Night, and yeah.
Oh, and what's it? The horror.
September 5.
Yeah. I think I forgot the name. If there's any films of these that we haven't seen, or we haven't mentioned right
and
now.
Kneecap.
Oh God, yeah, Kneecap.
Yeah, as you were saying, email in at. Sorry, what was it again?
Yeah, so if there's any of these films that we've mentioned that we haven't seen, or like any one of the ones we didn't mention just now, but you want us to see it, you can recommend us or email us at planetofthetapespodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, and Better Man, because we're recording, like, literally, because it comes on Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, let's get on straight away. So, Yannis, okay, what is your number 5 of 2024?
My number 5 is, I feel like you might have this one on your list, but maybe further up, but I'm just going to talk about it now. It is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
Oh my lord. It's my number 5 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, we can talk about it at the same time. I think it's
Fury is born.
I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, wow, okay, this looks great. Like, I think it's a perfect direct prequel, or I guess Mad Max being a perfect direct sequel to it.
Yeah, because then later on you get a flashback to what would be a continuation. No, you see the truck.
Yeah, you do.
No spoilers. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is like incredible. I didn't even know, but she only has 30 lines in the film,
Really?
which is insane.
Wow, that's great.
Just proves how such a good actress she is and how expressive she is with like her eyes and her face and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, I thought like, okay, he's going to do all right. I really liked him. Like,
This is his best
was
role, I
great.
think.
Yeah,
in any
same.
film I've seen of him, the prosthetic nose they give him helps us so much to separate the celebrity Chris Hemsworth to what was his name? The character, Dementus. There we go.
Yeah, Dementus. Oh, the naming systems, by the way.
It's
Dementus.
so good. So yeah, it was so good because you don't like. I watched my mom was there when we watched a bit of it, and she was like, "Oh, that's Chris Hemsworth," and I'm like, "It's so subtle change." So yeah, I think it was perfect prosthetics that they put on him to separate him from the role, making his best performance, I think, ever so far.
No, completely same. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy, she acted it so well done. I mean, her acting in general is amazing, but I think in this role, she did it really well. As you said, she doesn't have many lines, but I think the visual acting is great. And Chris Hemsworth as well. I loved his character. He was fun.
Oh, he's so funny. And the teddy bear.
Yeah. I was rooting for him at the start until some things happened.
Yeah.
And then it's goes downhill. I like the naming systems in general of like Fury Road, Mad Max, Furiosa, And then you have characters like Dementus. I forgot the one in Fury Road. The
Which
main,
the main bad guy.
yeah,
The one that's like white hair. Is it white hair? Like the
yeah,
weird
white hair.
mask.
Which, by the way, in this film, like almost identical to Fury Road
Yeah.
in terms of look. Like I couldn't tell the difference in what the
Yeah,
characters
I
look
mean,
like.
apparently there's like is there some dodgy CGI in this, or was it in the last one?
Oh no, this one. I do have to say, I think there's a chase sequence near the beginning. I just have to say it looks really off-putting.
Which I'm trying to remember. Furiosa or Mad Max? Because in Mad Max they changed the frame rate, just like how they do in this one.
Yeah, no, in Furiosa, I don't think it was necessarily to do with the frame rate, but more like it looked fake, like a green screen.
Oh, the jungle thing.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the main one for me was her first ride, I guess.
Okay.
There was a part there that just looked a bit off, but I think apart from that, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I think it's one of the better blockbusters this year, and it's really sad how like not many people watched it, and it did achieve its budget, but it did not times it by 2.5. So basically, for a film to completely profit, you essentially the theory is you have to times it by 2.5,
Right.
and it only got like 10 million over its budget, which is obviously it got its budget back, but not the marketing budget.
Yeah.
So it did flop technically.
It did, like, I did hear a few things on that where, like, it didn't do quite as well, but I think in terms of this year, I really think it should have done better.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it was such a fun watch.
Like,
and
I
it's-
think it's just as good as Fury Road. I don't even blame
Same.
people saying it's better. Furious is better, but
I think that's a fair point.
You
Like,
know.
if people were to say that, I'd be fine with it. Like, yeah, like, I think both for me are equal.
even the narrative structure is different. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Like it's following Furiosa from a little girl to then a woman, and like the whole arc happens later on. Whereas Fury Road's just like one day, 2 days.
It's just one complete journey
Yeah.
through. It gives more context to Fury Road, like, especially nearing the end. As you learn
Oh
more
yeah,
in,
explain stuff like
it explains things.
yeah. I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah.
I think if I watched Fury Road, then I watched Furiosa, but then watching back I haven't seen Fury Road again, but watching it back, I think it'd be even more impactful getting to some story points
To understand
Fury Road.
Furiosa, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That was
yeah.
that. Oh, interesting that we put
Yeah.
it there. What's your number 4?
Take a guess. The slogan / tagline: "Trust the process." I do say that a lot, but that is the slogan.
Wait, I'm gonna guess this. It's kind of like our game section. Trust the process. Is it substance?
No,
Okay. Is it? Wait, what? Trust the.
Sing Sing.
Oh, okay. Right.
How do I go with Sing Sing? I mean, it's just like this is such a heartbreaking film, yet it's really uplifting, and like the film is it's like, kind of like about making sense of where you are, and how like art. I think this film is mainly about like art, specifically theater, and how like it's not just for entertainment, but like it brings people together, and it's kind of like escapism, and I mean, the only downside for me is I wasn't like super satisfied by the third act,
Right.
but I know that's a hot take, but I think the credit scene definitely like saves it or makes it even better, and like yeah, you have some great performances.
Definitely.
Common Domingo, Clarence Mack, so the two leads, and you know one of them should win an Oscar. One of them should.
I think Domingo was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, I think Domingo. I think he could win. Oh, he's got some competition with like Chalamet and Complete Unknown and The Brutalist with Adrian Brody
yeah,
and that it, I think. Yeah.
I think so.
So yeah, but yeah, great performances. I think it's a great story. I mean, I guess to summarize it, what I'm trying to say is it's funny, it's tragic, yeah, it's a hopeful film about broken people coming together. So yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, I didn't have it on my top 5, but I still loved it. I mean, we went to the cinema to see it, but I think it was.
Yeah, we watched it so we went too close to the cinema, to the screen.
Okay, yeah.
Our neck was like,
Looking.
so I would want to watch it again. with my neck not.
Broken.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think I have to agree. I really love the film. I think it's hopeful. It has some sad elements, but it's hopeful. I mean, originally at the time when we were seeing it, people were like, "This is going to win Best Picture. This is
Oh,
it."
overhyped for as someone who likes films and is into films. That I've heard that.
Yeah. I mean, that generally happens a lot when a film comes out. Like, for example, like Dune Part 2, people were like, has to win Best Picture, it has to. And then Anora comes out, this has to win Best Picture. Wicked comes out, a few people, this has to win Best Picture, and so
The
on.
Brutalist
So,
at
Brutalist.
the moment.
So, I mean, it's just over time, I guess people's perspective of something changes.
Yeah. That's why I like going in blank.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's what we did with Sing Sing. It makes it so much better. I remember when we saw Past Lives, I went into that no trailer, absolutely nothing. I didn't know what it was.
I just said, let's go.
Let's go, and it turns out to be like one of my favorite. It's on my top 4. It's like one of my favorite films. So it's always better to see it like that.
And yeah, so Yannis, what is your number 4?
My number 4.
It's like Trapped. I might explode.
Yeah. By the way, my number 4 is Trapped. My number 2 is Madam Web. Number 1's Beekeeper. My number 4, I think you were expecting this to be in here, is Wicked Part 1.
Right.
I said, if you look back on our last episode, the Part 1, I did talk about it, saying that like I just love Wicked in general, and I mean I studied it for music, Defying Gravity specifically, but like Stephen Schwartz is just
So I keep hearing that.
like Stephen Schwartz is an absolute like mastermind genius in songwriting, and all of the songs in here are memorable. But like I did say this before, I felt like I opened my third eye listening to No One Mourns the Wicked.
The
Like,
overhype.
No, I swear, I promise you it isn't. Like hearing Ariana sing for the first time when she sings "And Goodness Knows No One," the Wicked's Lives Are Lonely. Like it's such a.
You remember every song.
I know all of them, but like I think it just completely reframes what I think of Wizard of Oz. I mean, for context, Wicked Part 1 takes place before Wizard of Oz, and then Wicked Part 2 takes place.
When's the
during...
latest you've seen Wizard of Oz?
When was the late? Oh, ages ago. I can't remember the last time I see it. It was a while ago, but I should re-see it. I want to see it before Part 2, because Part 2 takes place during Wizard of Oz and then a little bit after Wizard of Oz. But like,
Yeah, something I've heard is that the movies are now longer than the actual play, and that Wicked Part 1 is like it did so much. What are you even gonna do in the second one? Is that right? Can you confirm that?
there's still there's still a lot to happen.
But like it's
in
like
the second
they've
one.
they've made it longer.
I don't think Part 2 can I don't think it's possible for Part 2 to be as long as Part 1. I think Part 2 is going to be like an hour and a half. I truly don't think.
How about I quote you?
I truly don't think it's possible. But there are some amazing songs to come up, and also they said there are going to be 2 originals, which I'm looking forward to. I don't know if Stephen Schwartz is doing those as well. I just think it's such a fun thing. I was going into it thinking this is going to be great. And I went out of it hearing Defying Gravity. I remember my mum was sitting next to me, and like the moment she said, what was it again? Like, Alphaba, why didn't you just stay calm for once instead of flying off the rail? And like I jumped out of my seat hearing that, because that's the start of Defying Gravity. Like the moment Ariana said that, I just think I could go on about this film for ages. Like the moment I knew a song was about to start, because normally they have a dialogue before, I was like, and like everyone around me was going and singing the songs as well. Like Defying Gravity and No One Mourns the Wicked, having them both at the beginning, at the end. It was cinema.
This is cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Scorsese.
I don't know, it was so fun. That's it.
Cool. Cool. Okay. That was your number 4.
That was number 4.
Interesting. My number 3
Ooh.
is... Actually, try to guess it. I'm doing this thing where like I'm saying the slogan and the tagline. If you follow the instructions, what could go wrong?
Easily and obviously substance.
Yep. Where do I start with the substance? I mean, this is the most disgusting film I've seen this year. Not as in like a bad way. I mean like the slow build up, and it makes you feel so uncomfortable more and more as it goes on. The makeup, the prosthetics, they're so in your face, realistic. The camera is like so close to something. It's like like borderline too close, like too much personal space, like breaking that. There's no personal space,
Right.
and it, it's like for example, the main actress Demi Moore, she gives probably her best performance in this film. I've only seen her in like A Few Good Men and the other Nick Cage movie. I'm pretty sure she's in Unbearable Weight of the Man. That title.
Something.
But yeah, this is definitely like Oscar worthy, and I don't know if she will win, but because the Academy apparently doesn't love horror, but it did get in the Critics' Choice and Golden Globes, so I am begging she will win or even get nominated. Like I don't want an Amy Adams arrival again.
Oh
Or
no.
what's it called? Colette, Tony Collette in Hereditary. I don't want that snub. Please. Please. So yeah, and like but obviously there's a lot of other good contenders this year because we have what's her name? Mikey Madison for Nora.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of buzz around her winning, so I think it'll be one of I mean, I think she will probably win, but I think if Demi Moore won, that would be also incredible as well.
It'll be tough this year. I mean, I've seen like a few scenes from The Substance, and I'm like, I'm never watching this film. This is on my banned list.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a roller coaster ride that like the more deeper you go, the more twisted, and it's like if you see scenes from it, it's a bit odd, but it's the process of experiencing it in one moment. And like yeah, I mean, I will say the third act, like for me at least personally, was a bit too much. I think if you cut like 20 minutes of it, I think you could have had a more satisfying yet up for interpretation slash cliffhanger. Because I thought like this not to spoil Carrie inspired scene, I'm not gonna give anything else, which is
Okay.
a bit like, okay, this is a bit too much, like come on. And I know what it was trying to do with like its kind of cyclical structure, but I just think cut it 20 minutes before and I think you would have been like, what is gonna happen?
Yeah. It's more impactful.
Yeah. And like it's some great references. There's a lot of as I said before, it's inspired by like there's like some sets that are like inspired by The Shining, or like as I said, there's some Carrie references and all horror movies, or there's a David Lynch film reference when like she does a phone call. But yeah, I think it is all that combined, the most original film this year and a great film still, even though it could have been for me incredible, but it's still a great film. So yeah,
That's The Substance. Okay.
The Substance.
My number 3 is Flow. So,
Right.
wait, just before I get into it, actually, these rankings are like, it's based on a few factors at once. So it's based on my rating of them, but also based on like engagement, my personal like value to it as well. So, I mean, as I go up, like just these rankings in general, like for example, Furiosa, I think I would put higher, but I think because it's factoring in like enjoyment and like my personal experience with it, it all factors in. So that comes with Flow, which is an amazing animated film about a cat, about just animals in general. I think it really takes inspiration from like Life of Pi, Noah's Ark, Wall-E, as well.
Interesting.
It's so beautiful. The art style, like I know some people can say it looks a bit like unfinished. It kind of at some points does. But I think it's just beautiful. There are so many details in like what the animals do. And the fact that there's no dialogue, like no dialogue as in like no
Speaking animals.
no speaking animals. It's just like meowing and like birds squawking. And that just shows what they need to. It's all one big metaphor, which I think over time you can slowly get. And I just want to say I almost cried for the ending because just like they build on this metaphor over and over and over, and then the ending just really drives it home. I think you don't fully realize what this film is about until the final scene, and that final scene is just so beautiful and it's so sad and it's so emotional and it really builds up to this scene. And I don't know, just the whole film. It's like it's a visual spectacle. You have these amazing shots of the water itself, but also these like big monuments. Like it brings a sense of mystery to it. It's like a forgotten land.
It's a shame that like it's not gonna be like getting I mean, obviously it'll probably get nominated, but like because it's been getting I think some nominations. It got international nomination, but like competing with what's it called, Inside Out 2 and
Wild Robot.
The Wild Robot. It's a
Yeah.
shame that like a film like that. I mean, it's just similar to like Wild Robot Dreams a year ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
With who won over again?
Boy and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron, obviously deserved, but Wild Robot Dreams obviously it was another no dialogue film, but had like grunts and sound effects. That was also, for me at least, very deeply profound and a powerful film. So yeah, it's a shame that it's gonna happen again in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it is in a similar way. Like, I mean, there's no dialogue in this, but also like it never feels slow, and I think the pacing's really well done, so that you feel engaged in it at all times. You're always like having a laugh or like really tense. Like that cat stressed me out in this film because
Which one stressed you out more? A Quiet Place Day One or Flow?
ooh, and also there's Alien, I guess, but from this year, Quiet Place. Bro, actually no, I think Quiet Place because like if that cat made a single noise, they're dead. So
All I remember is I saw a shot where like he's in water and I don't even know how like he didn't react. Something about a sewer.
In Quiet Place, you mean?
Yes.
Right, yeah. I see what you mean. I think in Quiet Place they and like the cat. Oh, no, that's fine. It's not a spoiler. They just go no, they don't go oh I'm digging myself in a hole. In Flow, yeah, I mean there's also a lot of water in Flow, obviously. So I mean there are some scenes where characters are in water. But I don't think that's a spoiler. Like the whole film is centered around water.
Double feature?
Yeah, I think it kind of could be. I don't know. That's just my points on Flow. Like it's one big metaphor for something, but it really builds on it and then drives it home so well in the final scene. All of the little details come together very well. The characters are fun, interactive, engaging. Flow. It's great.
Cool. I know. I mean, I want to watch it, but now I want to watch it even more now because now that you've said that, it just sounds way more, I guess, not complex. I mean, in a way, more complex, but more deep than what I thought it would be.
There's a specific scene. I didn't understand it at first. I had to search it up. But there's one specific scene where it's like, it's so different to what you would imagine this film to have. Like, you would think, okay, I'm going through this film, it's like this. And then an hour in, this specific thing happens. If anyone's seen it, they'll know what I'm talking about. It's like, wow, this is beautiful, but like so different to what this film is trying to go for. And then it just goes back to as it did before. But that scene just really sticks with you and sticks with the cat throughout. It's amazing.
It's just called Cat or... Oh, yeah.
It doesn't, they don't have names.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So...
What is your number 2?
So I'm going to go the slogan / tagline again. What happens behind those walls change everything.
What happens behind those walls change everything. Is that what it is?
I should probably say before this, I think, so this is mine, obviously not my number 2, but I think it's probably, from a writing standpoint and a screenplay, probably better than my number 1. But I think number 1 was just more, how do I say? I'm not gonna. I mean, you probably know my number 1.
I know for a fact what your number
but
1
like,
is.
it's just more of an experience. But I would say I struggled. I think any day this one could have gone first. Or
Wow. Okay.
I think because it was so. Either way.
Oh, I think I know what it
walls.
is. I know you saw it recently, Conclave.
There's a conclave happening. Whoa. Such a gripping and like a really, as I said, well written screenplay. I mean, it's like it's about like what makes you or someone a worthy leader, and it's like it's got such a brilliant ensemble as well. Specifically, I think Ray Fiennes gives probably the best monologue of this year. I cannot think of another. Some great dialogue in that. Um, should and like there's also stuff like cover the leader thing, like how questions like what makes a worthy leader, like should their past like define who they are now, and like what is all to do. I mean, I should probably explain. This is about like an election of a new pope,
Yeah.
re-electing a new pope for those who don't know, and like I mean that was also something that's super interesting about it because I was like, it's really interesting seeing the process of like electing a new pope and like what it means for different people and like the complexities and like the different factions and sides that like go into each other, and it's like it's not just an election, it's like a religious war technically.
Right.
And it's like insane. And I mean, you're like, oh yeah, it's just just guys talking about electing a pope. It's just like, oh, but it is way more than that, and it's like it challenges expectations, and like with it's like different schemes, like secrets and deception that it hides, and it's all like, and it doesn't also treat you like you're dumb because the names are like, because some of them have different names, so they've got their real name, and they also have like their name as like as a not a pope, but what do you call
Which
it?
a figure?
Something.
I'm not sure.
Their church name either way, of like what they are, and it doesn't like tell you, oh, this is that. Through some smart editing, when they're doing the election, it pans to the which one got more points and which one got more points.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you have to like try to figure out yourself. You have to focus in this film. This is not like some blockbuster. This is a proper film that's trying to. Is proper art that's like not treating you as dumb. It is, yeah, as I said, a proper film, and you will. I think it leaves you on a note that like you will not see coming, and it was a very bold statement, and it is just an incredible film. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, was it easy to follow through, like to understand?
Well, I can't lie. While watching it, it was like the experience itself was not the best. Not because of just like someone behind me had to tell someone to turn their phone off. But apart from that, like it's great, and this is not a film for everyone, definitely not. Which is why it's probably at number 2. But I mean, if you love films, I love like I guess not a court drama, but like films are like heavy dialogue, and like it's about like secrets, and then like the secret's like boom, or like there's different that. I would recommend Conclave. It's just one of the better films coming out this year.
Wow. I'm surprised you said it as like it could have been your number one, because I mean, it's close. You said.
No, I just think like, because like obviously my first, you already know what it is probably. I'm not gonna say yet. But I think this, obviously that's an adaptation, and I think as from an original standpoint, Conclave, what is themes about like identity and like what is a leader, and like how is change supposed to be adaptable? It's just such a interesting film, and I would, as I said, I'd recommend it to those that I guess want something a bit more not challenging but heavier dialogue based, and just a great film, gripping, and yeah.
Wow, Conclave. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You've explained it really well. I might want to go see it. I mean, there are a lot of films this year that I've definitely wanted to see. Not Brutalist, but that's too long for me. But Anora. Honestly, though, I think going into a film not knowing, like not going in there because of the length, I think is good. Like for me, I went to the cinema to see Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh yeah.
Which was super long. But like I didn't actually know how long it was. I knew it was like above 2 hours. But I mean, Scorsese, he deserves those 3 hours. So I guess for the Brutalist, just going in there for the film is better.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of went in, and it was just like I was kind of gripped. It took me a while, just because I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And I was trying to figure out the names. Once you clock onto the names, especially like Ray Fiennes, like his name is Dean, but like his like church name is like Lawrence, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
But they don't. Do they not tell you like explicitly that this person
No,
is?
you have to listen. Like if the guy says like, "Oh, Dean, how are you?" or like, "Oh, Lawrence, we are here now," or like, "What do you think of this?" and he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" or it's all
Right,
in
yeah.
the dialogue. You have to listen.
That's kind of similar to another film that uses many names for one specific character that came out earlier this year. Anyway, so my number two. I mean, you've been doing this, but you can guess what my number two is. Oh,
Okay. I don't know.
honestly, that was an honorable mention for me.
Okay, and
It might be animated as well.
Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2.
Right.
Which I was debating Mononoke to be on the list, but I thought like I just think
I'm really interested how that film has touched you so much. Like I would.
Mononoke.
No, Inside Out 2.
Oh, it's I don't know. I think I talked about just previously about how this ranking is also to do with experience and engagement.
Right. Okay. Fine.
And so I think if it's like taking out the experience from it, I would say Inside Out 2 would be maybe number 5 and then move all of the others up a bit. I was struggling with Inside Out 2 to be on this list. I think I was thinking, okay, is Flow, should I put it before Flow? I think
Roast World is number 1.
I already said, no, Flow is my number 3.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, I just love how out of the sequels of this year, I think this one was the most deserved to be a sequel. We talked about this in part 1, which you should go see. But I think it was really heartwarming and very accurate film, surprisingly. It didn't feel out of touch in any way. Like I don't know, just like the awkwardness of Riley or how the characters are portrayed. I think it's very well done for a
I
film.
do think it's definitely brave for what it does, for what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
There was stuff that I thought, oh, damn, you're doing that. Interesting. Considering it's Pixar, not this Pixar. They're great, but like I was like, damn. I don't know, it was definitely more. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of Pixar's films focus on their characters being children. So you look at things like Luca, Toy Story in a way, kind of. Turning Red, for example. Turning Red's a great example to link with Inside Out 2.
Yeah, bold statement. Divisive. Was it divisive Inside Out 2?
I'm not
Shocking.
sure. Yeah.
Both shocked by people.
I like how it continues with Riley growing up. I remember seeing Inside Out in the cinema for the first time and I absolutely loved it.
Oh,
and then seeing it now, grown up more.
It's like
and seeing
that
Riley.
meme where like, like the she's like looking at it when like she's younger and then when she's older. Have you not?
Yeah. No, that's literally me seeing it. I just think it impacted me in that way because I saw them both in the cinema and seeing Riley as a character grow up, but also like the kind of heartwarming approach that they took to it. And also, with like the new emotions, the main one being anxiety. The other ones are like sidelined a bit.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like I think like envy wasn't like that was there for like one scene.
She just screamed a lot.
Yeah, I mean embarrassment was like I think the second most used out of the new ones.
Well, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah.
He's best character.
I love like the different they've added more like design and creativity to it, like the sarcasm.
Yes.
Things like that, like they did in the first film. I really, really struggled with this being my number 2, but after like having a while to think about it, I just think I love like the animation. It's so clear. The music as well continues from the first one. That same scene.
Still Michael Giacchino.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really heartwarming, and especially the ending. I think they did it really well. Not the final scene. I didn't like the final like shot.
The montage thing.
No, the very end, like the very, very end, when she's at her locker, and she looks at something on her phone, and then she looks up at the camera. I think that did too much for me.
I don't remember.
It's fine.
I don't remember. I remember. Wasn't there something like we said like, oh, that's a bit. I don't know.
I think that was. The bit
I remember
was talking
someone
about.
said that. Yeah.
I just love the experience of seeing it. I mean, we saw it in the cinema with some friends, and like the climax of the film, I thought was really powerful and well. Like the story and the narrative was very well executed, like building up to this. It included similar story beats to the first one, but I didn't mind that too much. I'm sure some people might agree or disagree.
Yeah, I think it was definitely funnier. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
If I remember right, thinking interesting number 2. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
Then that leads up to our number one. So, do you want to? We can say it at the same time.
I'm scared
you-
of saying one. I'm because I'm like thinking now, should it be number 2?
I'm really shocked that it might be.
Okay, let's say at the same time.
Okay.
But okay.
Even
Really?
if they're different.
Yeah. And then I guess we'll start with mine first, I guess.
Yeah, we can start with yours.
Cool. The number 1 film of 2024, even though I'm like, if 1 and 2 could be number 1.
Oh, Moana 2.
No, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I
Okay.
didn't watch Moana 2.
Yeah. I thought Moana 2 would be. Okay.
No. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Dune Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You're a little rat.
Yeah, mine is Dune Part 2 as well. I was just saying that.
Where do we start? I mean, oh yes. Oh no, wait, that's a spoiler for Christmas episode. If Denis gets snubbed again, we have to riot. I'm sorry. Like if he gets snubbed for director because he didn't get director for
Yeah. Who was it that said one of the actors for Dune said he'll quit
Josh
acting?
Brolin.
Yeah.
Thanos. He'll get the Infinity Stones and snap. All. of them.
I will do that for him if this. I don't know. I just don't think Dune Part 2 will do as well as it should do.
I think he'll
for
continue on the
Oscars.
technical side, but I think he'll get into picture. I don't think he'll win picture. I bet people are gonna laugh if it does win.
Really?
No, they're gonna laugh at me
Oh,
if
okay.
it does win. Yeah. Apart from that, I don't think Timmy will get nominated for that. I think he'll get nominated for A Complete Unknown.
I think if he wasn't in a complete unknown, I think he would be for Dune. But I think there was
maybe.
another standout. I'll talk about it later, but there was a bigger standout performance for me in Dune Part 2.
Interesting. I mean, we can just talk about it now because both are
Yeah.
number 1s. What about you?
I want to start off. We saw this in like
Oh, yeah.
IMAX, like the full experience for Dune Part 2.
Not the There's a different. There's like.
Oh, not the wider aspect ratio.
Yeah, like the weird. I don't know.
like it
Long
showed,
story.
80% more or something.
Yeah. Like the BFI. No, like the
Oh right.
that one. Like the proper.
the proper one.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's very rare for me to see a film from its very first scene and know that this is going to be like a cinematic experience that I'm like honored to witness. From the moment, like I will never forget the experience seeing the words "power over spice is power over all" and hearing like the entire thing rumble, and I could like feel the whole thing shaking. It was like I knew from that that first moment, that black screen and the whole rumble of it.
Whatever it says.
Yeah, I just knew from then this is absolute cinema.
Oh my days. Scorsese getting so much references. Yeah, I mean, how do we start with this? I mean, let's go with Hans Zimmer's score. I mean, absolute. I mean, what's it called? Oh, the main.
Oh, he doesn't like calling it the love theme, but it's the love theme.
It's the beyond the.
Oh, I forgot.
Either way, what that is like. I mean, it played in the trailer, and I remember in the trailer we were just like, oh, I was like, oh my, this is something. This is something. And yeah. So what was it called again?
A time of quiet between the something. A time
Oh
of,
yeah, quiet something when they're on the
in the
hill.
desert on the hill. Yeah.
Gee. Oh my. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he can't get into the
Oscars.
nominated because it's like not 75% new.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, that's another completely different story. You can email in about that. Email in
Please do.
at Gmail. Oh,
Planet
I always forget.
Planet of the Tapes podcast at gmail.com. We would love to hear anything about Dune Part 2, Conclave, Inside Out, etc.
You're good at that now.
I've been
Follow
saying it
us on
over and
socials.
over.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's a standout. I think it all works still, because it like kind of not recycles, but still uses like the themes of the predecessor.
Yeah, Part 1.
But that was like, when that happens, boom.
Boom. It's. I mean, his score is just brilliant. I think even though it uses a similar, I think I prefer the score to Part 1
I prefer Part 1 personally.
as a film, or like in terms of the music.
Yes, and what's it called? The score.
The score, I agree with.
But maybe it's because it was so original that I was like so in awe by it.
I think specifically the usage of the music in scenes in Part 1.
Well, I love the in
Bagpipes.
Part 1. Oh my days.
Like when they're riding into battle and you hear
Oh my days.
the theme.
Yes, and Josh Brolin's like
Amazing. I have to say, although I said the power of Aspires over power over is power over orbit, the bit I completely knew is when you see the Harkonnen floating and it's just the complete orange. I don't know if you mean like
when they float.
it's the score is very minimal at that point, and the moment they start floating, it's like boom. It's like you really hear it at that point. I'll never forget this. It was like, I think genuinely, I know there was Barbenheimer last year, but like this was without a doubt the best cinema experience I've ever had.
Oh yeah, this is why like I'm like sitting like, is this my number one? This is my number two, because as an experience, as I said with Conclave, I had a bit of a interesting experience. But Dune Part 2 was the absolute best, one of the best experiences I've ever had in cinema. So immersive, the sound, when the thumpers, you can hear it vibrate the whole room. You are just there. And then when me and Yannis, like, when the credits rolled, we looked at it, we like, imagine a standing ovation, but like you don't say anything.
No, I think for us, we know a film is good. Like Past Lives, we went through like just the whole credits.
You were
stunned.
crying.
No,
I was like, damn, I was like, oh my God.
it was too much for me. But this one, we went through just all of the credits, stunned, speechless.
We didn't say anything. We just look at each other. I've
couldn't.
never seen myself like so like in awe of what I've just seen. It's such that, as you said, I've experienced something, probably a classic, probably, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you always talk about, oh, I wish I watched, I don't know, E.T. in cinema, or I wish I was there when I watched the Star Wars. This is like, not us, I kind of like our Star, you know what I mean?
In a way, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
it
the
was-
younger generations will envy us being able to see it as it
Dune
comes
Part
out.
2, yeah. It is an experience by all means possible. I mean, if you didn't watch in cinema and you watch it on a plane or something, oh!
No, I'm sorry. So I'm going to call this out, but a family member of mine
Criminal.
saw this on a plane, and like I have to say, to be honest, she said she liked it. But I have to say it's the worst place. Like, who was it? As intended. It was as intended.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's criminal.
It is. I mean, moving on, like just Greg Fraser,
Oh yes.
like
I mean,
standing ovation.
like he has had the best run I have seen in. He is like the new and like he is like what's his name? Roger Deakins, like
right.
Emil Nabensky, sorry, I can't put his name. Von Van Hoydiker. He's like on that level. Like, he is just so good. He goes from the Batman, which snubbed.
Completely.
Even Deakins, I think, said like it was snubbed or something. Either way, he goes from the Batman, and then he goes from the creator. Obviously, like, you can have your opinions on that film, but that film was incredibly well shot.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Dune Part 2. I mean, before he did Dune Part 1, I'm just like, this guy, like, he's insane.
If anyone who hasn't seen Dune Part 2 is watching, just search up Dune Part 2 and go into images, and you'll see the most stunning, like a painting.
Yeah, like, even
stunning
like
shots.
there's a shot in black and white that actually inspired short film I made.
Oh,
yeah, I remember
really?
that.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is the stone.
Oh, right, it was.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. But yeah, so yeah, Greg Fraser, amazing. I'd say the cinematography, is it better? Is it better
Than part
than
one.
part one?
For me, 100%.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Oh.
Like, think back to Dune Part 1, think about the shots, and then think about the amount of shots you remember from Dune Part 2. I think there's a difference.
Maybe. Greg Fraser.
I mean, I just can't wait for anything
He
he makes in the
Is he
future.
coming back for Batman 2?
I think it was confirmed
If
that
he
it is,
doesn't.
Yeah. It will be.
It's not.
If it... I know it will be nominated for Best Picture.
It will. I don't think it'll win.
I don't think it will win, but I hope
It's not like
wins.
Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, like they had it.
Yeah. I mean, there are some years
Because
where it's obvious.
it changed the fantasy genre and how like films are made.
Yeah.
So, and this, as well made as it is, as the production design's amazing, I don't think, I mean, as I said, the first one, he didn't even get nominated. Like,
No.
what can I do?
I mean, talking about nominations, I mean, I know Timothy, especially in the second half, was amazing, but for me, standout performance, Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh yes.
Wow, like her role as the Reverend Mother, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
the
it's just
blue-
spoilers. Jesus.
wait, no, didn't that happen in? Oh wait, no, that happened in. Well then, let's cut that bit out.
We're gonna like an edit, like to
Yeah,
blur
cut it
it out.
But yeah, Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, stellar performance. Both Timothy Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson, like in the second to I would say the third act. I think just powerful performances. I think the standout for me, although Rebecca Ferguson's scenes were amazing, the standout scene for me is when Timothy's talking to the crowd. That was like
Oh yeah.
powerful.
What did he say? Like, I am, no, what is it? Like, I am Muad'Dib, son of, what's his name?
It was something like I forgot what he said.
Yeah, and then I just remember before that. I remember I thought it'd be more relevant, but you know the scene where Zendaya's like, these prophecies, they're lies.
Yeah.
But it's so awkwardly interrupted. I'm sure we're trying to get into spoilers. But yeah, his performances are great. I think this film was also more easily accessible. You can say as good as or bad. I think readers of the book will probably not like this film.
No.
But if you don't read the book, then you probably have a better time. And yeah, I think if you didn't enjoy Dune Part 1, you'll definitely enjoy Dune Part 2 more. But yeah.
If you've read the books, if you want to see Dune Part 2, you can read the books. I think it's slightly different. Don't read the second book because that's spoilers for Dune 2. Because I unfortunately gave myself spoilers of
You've
the
read
book.
it?
I haven't read the book, but I gave like
Synopsis.
myself,
Oh my days.
which is like
Clown.
But also, please don't read Children of Dune because that's where it gets a bit weird, I think. He's not making Children of Dune, which is,
Yeah.
I guess, would be film 4.
He's just doing
onwards.
Poor Atreides' story.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's in the name. Children of Dune is following on to the
Children.
generations afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't do like me and give yourself spoilers because I'm trying to
Yeah.
forget them.
But yeah, I mean, it's the experience of the year. It's what else was I to say? That's
It is the experience of
cinema.
the year. I mean, like, we've gone on about cinematography, but like even the colors, like, starts off with this vibrant orange, and you have these scenes of black and white, and it's just the color schemes and the variety of it all is the whole thing is just on such a grand scale. You take Dune Part 1 and then bump it up to 1 million.
But yeah, I mean, what else can I say? That's Dune Part 2, our number 1 film of the year. Although I am very, very, I might do Conclave.
I'm really like, I know you don't want to like overhype it, but like I'm really interested that you're having like you don't know which would be which. That means like Conclave is like quite good then.
Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Maybe they're a tie, but for now, Dune was the experience of the year, but Conclave is the gem of the year.
That's a good way to
Put
put
that on a
it.
t-shirt.
To recap, mine is Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, Wicked, Flow, Inside Out 2, and Dune Part 2.
Mine are number 5, Furiosa. I'm not going to say the full title. Number 4, Sing Sing. What's number 3? Number 3, The Substance. Number 2, Conclave. Kind of. Number 1, Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Denny,
Please.
you can land the trilogy. We trust in you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there are a few like exciting things to do with trilogies coming out, like Batman. I mean, I know it's the second
Oh
film.
my god, next year is so stacked.
Next year, we can't wait. It's got next year in 2026 has got some like big projects coming up.
Yeah.
So that was part 2 of our episodes for wrapping up 2024. We wanted to say as well, if you've heard part 1, you might have heard us say this as well. But we've got season 3. So season 2, we've already planned what
that
will
we've
be.
recorded.
Yes. And we wanted season 3 to be the people's vote. So you'll see in the description, we've put up a form where it has the different categories where you can vote for. Still one-worded themes. But when you vote for it, then we'll be able to decide the films and film.
Yeah, so it's all up to you. You have the power and we will record. So vote quick,
Yeah.
vote soon, and recommend us words. And yeah.
We'll be able to tell you when voting closes, but please put your votes in because it really matters to us what people want for season 3 and going onwards. And we'd be really interested to see what people are voting because I'm not quite sure what people would enjoy more out of the categories.
But yeah, that's this has been
Yeah. Have an amazing
New year.
New year. And for next year as well, we'll see you then.
Hopefully you tune back in.
We're back January 7th for the second half of debut.
Yes.
For a interesting episode. I quite like this one. It's different to what we've done. It's more... I don't know how to describe it without saying, but yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And we'll see you then.
Follow us on our different accounts, socials, Instagram, all that type of stuff. YouTube, also I've been adding on YouTube the content.
Yeah.
And
I've said before, but like if...
Also, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say email at and then you need to finish the sentence.
Yeah, I mean, well...
What?
If you want to email us your top 5, because
Or anything else.
anything else, but like, I mean, related to this episode,
And
I want to
movies.
hear what movies or series. If you want to email us your top series of the year, because I know a few have come out. We didn't talk about them here, but we've been seeing a few.
Because we haven't seen that many. I mean, I haven't at least. You've seen
I've seen
way more.
I've seen quite a few that have come out this year. Email us at planetofthetapespodcast@gmail.com.
And yeah, so I hope to see you next year. And yeah. Bye.
Bye.